The first morning, he hadn't moved at all. I'd set up a corner for him the night before, a soft bed, a bowl of water, a little space of his own, and when I woke up and checked, he was exactly where I'd left him. Same spot, same position. Back against the wall, eyes already open, watching the door like he was waiting for something bad to walk through it. I didn't go to him. I just sat down on the floor across the room, drank my coffee, and let him watch. That was day 1. By day 11, he had moved 3 inches closer. I know that sounds like nothing, but if you'd seen where he started, 3 inches felt like a miracle. Let me take you back to the beginning. I wasn't even planning to adopt that week. I'd driven past the shelter 100 times over the years. One of those places you always say you'll stop at someday and somehow never do. But that particular Tuesday, I pulled in. No reason, no plan. The woman at the front desk walked me through the main room first. Lots of cats, friendly ones, climbing the cage doors, reaching their paws out, doing everything in their power to get your attention. And then she hesitated. "There's one more," she said, "in the back. He's been here the longest. I'll show you, but I want to be honest with you. He hasn't let anyone touch him, not once." She walked me down a narrow hallway to a quieter room, smaller, the kind of place that feels deliberately removed from everything else. He was in the far corner of his enclosure, a Maine Coon, massive, 15 pounds at least, with a coat the color of a storm cloud and green eyes that hadn't blinked since I walked in. His name on the cage card said Ash. He'd been there for 8 months. 41 families had come and gone without him. The shelter had tried everything: behavioral consultants, calming sprays, soft music outside his door. One volunteer had spent weeks building a routine with him, showing up every day at the same time. He tolerated her. He never warmed to her. The staff had started to wonder, quietly, carefully, if Ash was simply a cat who didn't want to belong to anyone. I stood at the door of his room and looked at him. He looked back. There was something in the way he held himself, not just fear, something older than that, like a creature who had learned through too many disappointments that hope was a risk not worth taking anymore. And something in my chest said, "Wait." I asked if I could sit with him for a while. The worker looked a little surprised, but she nodded and pulled up a chair from the hallway. I thanked her, waited until she'd gone, and then, instead of sitting in the chair, I sat down on the floor. Back against the wall, legs crossed, coffee long finished. I wasn't trying to win him over. I wasn't trying to do anything, really. I just didn't want him to feel like another person had come to take something from him. So I sat, and I let him decide. 15 minutes passed, then 20. Somewhere outside the room, the shelter went on. Footsteps, voices, the soft percussion of other animals going about their day. But in that room, everything was still. And then, very slowly, so slowly I almost missed it, Ash stood up. He crossed the length of his enclosure, pressed his face against the bars near my hand. His nose touched my finger once, then twice, and then he exhaled. Long and quiet, like he'd been carrying something heavy for a long time and had finally decided it was okay to set it down. I looked up at the worker who had appeared silently in the doorway. She shook her head very slowly. "I've never seen that," she said. "Not with him." I looked back at Ash. He hadn't moved away. "I'll take him," I said. Now, I need to pause here for just a second, because if you're still watching, you're exactly the kind of person this channel exists for. Hit subscribe, seriously. There are 2 kinds of viewers: the ones who subscribe and come back for more stories like this one, and the ones who mean to and forget. Be the first kind. It takes 1 second and it means everything. The weeks that followed were quiet. Not dramatic, not a sudden transformation overnight, just slow, steady. Day after day of small things. Day 14, he stopped flinching when I walked past. Day 22, he ate while I was still in the room. Day 31, he fell asleep within eyeline of me for the first time. Not touching, not close, but no longer needing a wall at his back. Day 44, I heard something I hadn't heard before. He was on the windowsill watching a bird outside, and he was chattering, that soft clicking sound cats make when something catches their eye. He forgot, just for a second, to be guarded, and in that second, I caught a glimpse of who he actually was underneath all of it. I let him set the pace every single day. And then one evening, about 6 weeks in, I was sitting on the couch reading, not thinking about Ash, not watching him, not coaxing him, just reading. And he jumped up. No invitation, no warning. He walked across the cushion, turned in one slow circle, and settled himself against my leg. His purr started, soft at first, then deeper, that full body sound that you feel more than hear. I didn't move. I barely breathed. Because I knew in that moment that this was the real threshold. Not the shelter, not the cage bars. This, a cat who had never chosen anyone, choosing me on a quiet Tuesday evening with nothing at all to mark the occasion. Some things don't arrive with fanfare. They arrive in the spaces between everything else. When you're not looking, when you've stopped trying. They arrive because you were patient enough to let them. Ash has been home for 6 months now. He is not the cat they described to me. He is not cold or broken or a lost cause. He is deliberate. He's careful. He gives his trust the way some people give their word, slowly, seriously, and only once he's sure you've earned it. Last week, I drove him to the vet for a routine checkup. I was bracing for the carrier fight. Last time had been a whole thing. But this time, he just walked in, settled down, and on the drive there, somewhere around the 10-minute mark, he stood up and pressed himself against my arm. I thought about that first morning, the corner, the wall at his back, the 3 inches it took him 11 days to close. And I thought about how trust isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in the decision to show up again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Ash didn't need someone to rescue him loudly. He needed someone to stay quiet long enough for him to decide it was safe to move. If there's a cat sitting in the back room of a shelter somewhere near you right now, the one they say is difficult, the one who's been passed over again and again, please think about Ash. Think about what he needed and what he became once someone finally gave him enough silence to figure it out. Because love sometimes doesn't ask, it just waits, patiently, quietly, hopefully, until one day it doesn't have to anymore. So here's what I keep thinking about. Do cats like Ash choose to trust, or do they simply recognize something in us that tells them it's finally safe? Is it a decision, or is it something deeper than that? Tell me in the comments. I'd really love to hear your take.